Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news stream for the 3rd of September 2022. Sorry about the lack of a tutorial this week. Unfortunately, I thought, I was hopeful at least, that the Hornet was fixed, but sadly it is not. I had a lot of hassle trying to get the Harpoon to launch. I got like 1 launch out of 4 to work correctly with the more advanced modes, so had to give up sadly and scrub my tutorial for this week. But we still have the DCS news as always, and what a news week it's been. But before we jump into that, I just very quickly want to mention the fact that I have now, as I announced on my channel, activated YouTube memberships. If you would like to pay a little bit of money every month, if you have it to spare, it's 29 Swedish crowns per month, something in the region of $2 or £2 per month. It's a really, really big help, and it will help me kind of push the channel to new levels and provide even better content for everyone. So if you have the interest, please join Deepak's ground crew by using the join button below the video. So welcome to the stream, everyone, and before I say hello to everyone, let's bring on board the one and only dotChuckles so we can do the news together. Hello.
Hello! I'm missing.
I know.
I'm disembodied.
I know.
Oh,
what
no.
have I done? I fixed you.
I'm so. Oh my god! There I am.
Horrifying. He's returned. Oh dear. Sorry about that. I don't know how that happened.
Like a bad 70s Doctor Who special effect. I appear.
Fantastic. So welcome to the stream. Pink Floyd, Hal 9000, Tog. Who else is here? Sandbox Code, Stormcom Barry, Stieglitz, Pink Floyd, Clint S, Milan, Dr. Fantastic.
Everybody's here.
Welcome, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you all with us. And very exciting times. Oh, I guess I should add on to the YouTube membership thing. Of course, as always, you could just subscribe, like, and comment. And that'd be super good too. And actually, the support that I've been getting from everyone is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, everyone.
So I'm talking about sort of boosting YouTube things. I was reading you're going to have to start doing shorts because apparently that's what the algorithms move towards promoting is channels with shorts. So
I'll just post each of my tutorial videos as a 10-second short, and you have to watch like 100 of them to get the whole tutorial video.
It's like what was that? Not Games Master. Was it Bad Attitude or something like that, where they did the play blast at the end?
Oh, right, no,
I don't
know.
Yeah, it was like it had Violet Berlin and Andy Crane.
Wow. Okay, I'm not familiar with this.
God, I'm sure it was Bad Attitude or something, but they used to like all the cheats for your Commodore 64 and Amiga. But they did it at the end of the credits, and it was like it was a play blast, and you had to record it on your VHS and play it back and pause it to read all the screens.
Wow, that's actually
how
clever.
You should do it.
Yeah.
It was very good. Yeah. God, I hate shorts. Shorts.
to be honest, they're kind of cool. Like some of them I like. Like also on the channel, I play a bit of Escape from Tarkov, and I have to say, Battlestate Games, the developers of Tarkov, have kind of nailed the shorts game because they're just memeing the whole time using shorts, and it's good.
So actually, like we're totally off topic here.
I know already we've gone off the rails immediately.
But I'll just say the one thing about shorts: it's not the shorts that I specifically hate. It's what it does to me. Because and actually it's a very, both that and TikTok use this very it has at its core a very cynical way of keeping you on the platform, because
just one more.
Yeah, it's called jump off point. So like in media, if you have like a clear jump off point, which is the end of a playlist or credits or something, that's your cue mentally to go off and do something else. And shorts and TikTok purposely avoid that. Like that's why they repeat, because they don't then stop. And all that kind of stuff.
That's clever.
Like, so yeah. Well, it's evil, is what it is, because it's keeping you on the platform, and it's giving you You know, it's giving them more ad revenue. So what ends up happening is I start going, oh, well, that's kind of funny, right? Okay, I'll watch another one. Why the fuck is it now 5 o'clock in the morning and I've got to go to work in 2 hours?
This is the way. This is what happens.
Yeah. So there we go. Yeah.
Welcome,
Anyway.
welcome, Leo. Welcome, Channel Right, and welcome to the ground crew, Channel Right. Thank you very much for joining.
Oh, well done. And, I feel that we should swerve this ship back onto topic.
Perhaps we should talk about the DCS news being that thing what we're supposed to be doing.
People don't come here for the news. They come here for my spicy bad takes and apoplexy.
Yes, exactly. Alrighty. Well, with that in mind, here we go. We'll start with Eagle Dynamics newsletter as always. Dear fighter pilots, partners and friends, we are thrilled to introduce the Airplane Simulation Company, who proudly represent a modernised version of a truly iconic tactical airlifter, the C-130J. The arrival of this 4-engined turboprop transport will bring a new era of rich logistics gameplay into DCS. Upgrades continue on the forward-looking infrared rendering system that is used in a variety of targeting pods and other imaging systems. We're working on enhancing floor textures for all ground units and ships. Please read the details below. And we would like to inform you of the latest open beta patch that will take care of some urgent Viper fixes. This patch also includes important improvements to the DCS Mirage F1. You can't just say Mirage, you have to go Mirage.
Mirage. It's like, have you got a Jag?
No, I've got a Mirage.
Mirage.
Oh dear. Tog, in a game that lacks logistics. Well, actually, if you look in the mission editor, there is a bit of logistics going on.
Yeah, there's a fairly major logistics system if people decided to ever use it.
That's the thing. It's basically always overlooked. So there is a logistics system in the game which no one uses. However, with projects like Moose, they do extend it and actually make it way more interesting and accessible, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, Dr. Fantastic. I'm looking forward to some P2P AAR. Could not agree more.
It's amazing how many people have said that. It's incredible. There's so many people who are hyped for that aspect.
So
but,
super excited for turning left.
Yeah.
The NASCAR drivers of the sky.
And break away, break away, break away.
Oh, no. I know. Yeah, that's the thing. In the Harrier... I'm trying to remember. I think it's the KC-130 is actually quite bugged.
Very bugged. Bugged.
So in the Harrier, you always get the breakaway command, no matter what you're doing. But then they leave the basket there, and you can still refuel. So like the whole time you're trying to make contact, they're just going break away, break away, break away, and then like a few seconds later they say it again.
Yeah.
Anyway, very exciting. So yeah, the DCS C130J announcement. Although the C-130 first entered service nearly 70 years ago, the airframe has been continually updated, culminating with the delivery of the J model in 1999. Watch the teaser. We will in a moment. The J is a modernised variant that features a full glass cockpit, air-to-ground radar, FMS, and computerised airdrop capabilities, designed to reduce crew workload. Exciting additional variants are planned in the near future, including the KC versions. This will offer player-to-player aerial refueling. Oh yeah. So let's actually take a quick look at some of these screenshots because they're rather pretty.
And there is a lot to talk about here. A lot to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One thing they have said is that at the current time they do not intend to include the Spooky. So the gunship, at least presently, is not coming. They don't rule it out in the future, but it's not in their current plan. But I think we're getting, if I remember correctly, the C-130, the MC-130, and the KC-130. And to my mind, that's plenty. And take a little look at this. This I'm very excited about. The A-10 being the only other aircraft in the sim right now that has a functioning CDU.
Yeah. There's God. So I mean, I think as well. Like we should probably mention Bogey Dope's video
Yes.
I think that, like, I know we had it in the list a bit later, but I think it's important to bring it in now. So the content creator Bogey Dope, he's actually had a Discord call with the developers, and it has answered a lot of questions straight out the gate. And I think some of these were really important questions.
Oh, actually, I jumped too far forward. Here we go.
Although that's an important question.
Moab question mark.
Moab, can you drop the mother of all bombs? Yeah.
So he starts off by calling out the fact that the teaser that we got before with the coordinates was definitely for Afghanistan and not for the C-130. So I'm going to pause these as we go along.
Yeah. Like, I think, like, just sort of going over that, there's a lot of people who said that the teaser at the end of the 2022 and beyond video was for the C-130 because there happened to be some C-130s parked nearby. Like, it's clearly that it is clear that that was a teaser for Afghanistan because the coordinates were centered right in the middle of the runways. And, like, if you were going to tease the C-130 like that, well, why not put it on a Gate Guardian, on the apron, at, like, Marshals of Cambridge or a C-130 base? So I still think, even though there's lots of people crying victory about how they were right, that was a teaser for the C-130. No, I agree with Bogey Dope. It's we're getting Afghanistan at some point. This has come out of somewhere else. But
yes, and I've actually personally I've gone back and forth a little bit on this over the kind of last year, because at first I was like, yes, clearly the reason that the Anubis community mod project for the C-130 stopped suddenly with like very little communication is because they were going to make a commercial C-130. And then as time went by, I became less and less sure, and I flipped to saying, no, I don't think we're getting a Hercules. And I was wrong. Here we are. We've got a Hercules. So the first question that sorry, go ahead.
I was like, on that, I think I was the same, but I think I always thought that we would get the C-130. I think back then I just wasn't that fussed. It was kind of like cool. But then the more I've thought about it, and the more I've thought about what you can do with the C-130 mod in DCS and in the kind of missions that we have in DCS, the more excited I am about the possibilities for it. So I'm kind of quite hype about C-130 coming. Anyway,
Dr. Fantastic, VAF skins will look da bomb on that. I actually very much agree.
Yeah. Our VAF Randall's on that's going to look awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, what models are we getting? And the answer straight away, we're getting the J model of the C, MC, and KC. And I very much recommend that everybody watch this video. C-130H? No. EC-130? No. Moab? Yes! AC-130? No, not currly. And they hint that it might come in the future. So yeah, sorry, I was just saying there that Bogey Dope, who made this video, really nice bit of work. You should watch this video.
Yeah, and also a bit sad the H isn't going to be around, because way back when I was a very young person, I flew on the C-130H, so I don't get to recreate that. It was a very bumpy, airsick inducing, hot, sweaty time. Although I do remember the funny story as we were lining up, because there's the door. We didn't come up the back ramp. We came in. There's a door just forward of the props, and we were coming in that door, and we were sort of lining up to get in, and somebody turned, and he'd never actually flown before and was a bit nervous, and there was the conversation that came up of where's the safest place to sit in an aircraft in the event of an accident. Somebody said, oh, directly under the wings, and somebody said, no, a tail, and they went, oh, no, that's rubbish, that's based on old information. And their response was, have you ever heard of a plane reversing into a mountain? And just watching this guy go green.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. Channel Right, I wasn't bothered about this model, but I'm quite excited about this now. Frantic Stone, I'm coming back to fly in VAF as air-to-air refueler, and I'm demanding inverted top-ups. Thank you very much for the donation, Frantic Stone.
That's going to be the A-to-A refuel equivalent of, hey, hold my beer.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm pretty sure I've seen a video of someone flying the Hornet and doing upside-down refueling and them getting it to work. But I don't think you can fly the Hornet upside down forever. Like, I think you've got kind of a time limit for how long it'll operate inverted.
I would imagine so. Most aircraft tend to, usually it's to do with oil and things like that, sort of draining out of stuff. And generally ending up in places you don't want it to go. So
Not very sensible.
yeah.
But thank you very much, Frantic Stone. That's very kind of you. In a fictional tornado. Very good. Zigzag. I wonder if DCS creators could add a 10 megaton H-bomb ride to it on a B-52 AI model. Okay, someone's been watching too many films.
Doctor Strangelove, yeah.
Yeah, very nice. So the question that we had here was, is it going to have all the radios? And the answer is yes. This is not a community mod, but a third-party full product.
And this is arguably, when we'll talk about this, I think once we've gone through some of these questions, that is arguably one of the most exciting aspects of this mod. So
oh yes, very much so. I see SRS integration coming and the ability to use this as a relay and a mission commander station.
Yeah.
Is Anubis part of the team? Is this the community version? So Anubis was the creator of the community mod Hercules. And the answer to this one is yes, Anubis is in fact part of this team. However, they state that no code or art or assets from the community mod have been used.
Sorry, just to interrupt. The way these are booting up is awesome.
It reminds me of Phoenix Sim's A320, where actually the different computers and the different screens cycle up on different timings in quite a realistic fashion, and they've got this doing that as well. To answer that, yes, Anubis is part of the team, but they have stated very clearly that this is not the community mod. They started from a clean sheet with this one.
Yeah.
I'm just quickly checking chat. Could it be Anubis creating a company to get full access to the SDK? Well, yes. So to answer that, Frantic Stone, yes, Anubis is here. Oh, wait a minute. I missed a question because I was too busy looking at the chat. Will I be able to go silly speeds like in the community version? And they've said no. It's got a proper EFM. It will be a realistic flight model. Airdrops. Yes. Do the panels work? Yes. The mission computer, CNI, etc. are all planned on being fully functional within available documentation limits. All screens and radar, etc. will be as accurate as the devs can make it.
We probably entirely shouldn't go through this guy's video and actually encourage people to go and actually watch it for themselves, because I think we've sort of hit the highlights. So
yeah, true enough.
Yeah.
I think you're right there.
Yeah. So, go and watch the video. I think we've answered the main questions here, and that is, this is a fully featured C-130. Anubis is involved, and we're getting a lot of goodies here.
Didn't mention JATO, actually, which is a question chat just asked there.
I don't know. I mean, JATO and the C-130, I think it's only really the Blue Angels do it for showing off. Operationally, I don't think it was used that often. I know it was used as part of the rescue, the hostage rescue in Iran, but I think it's actual, how often it's actually used. I don't know. Be interested to know if chat knows better. But super excited now for this.
Me too.
Yeah, so I think in single player, probably not going to do very well. I think people will get it and it'll be like, cool, fly it around. Where I think this mod really is going to work well is in multiplayer, because of the mission commander slots. So the C-130 is not just about logistics. It is a very multifunction aircraft.
And multi-role to a degree.
And multi-role, yeah. Because, I mean, it's been used in a strike capability. It was used in the Gulf to clear several islands by dropping insanely big bombs. It is often used in kind of this mission commander role, which I think is what I'm most excited about. That mission commander seat with the mission computer and all that kind of stuff. It kind of acts as a communications fusion point, a mission decision. You've also got optics available. It has that, I forget the name of the system, but it's got
The Fleer disco ball.
Yeah, it's got this disco ball on the front with lots of stuff in it, like that you can look at and get sensors onto things. And, as a mission commander, start taking decisions. So, for those of you who like sitting in lot ATC, you're going to basically be able to do the same thing, but in game in a C-130. You're going to be able to sort of really direct the flow of a mission. And we've got, air-to-air refueling, and it's amazing the amount of people who are really super psyched for flying around in circles.
Yeah, very much so.
And do you know what? I get it. There's a lot of people who, like flying tube liners in Microsoft Flight Sim. I'm kind of one of them. And, the idea of doing something that is, is lower stress, a little bit chill, but an opportunity to contribute with your buddies on a multiplayer server, I totally get that. And I totally understand why people might want to do that. And thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I could absolutely do that. My one worry is that to do that kind of stuff effectively, you need quite a few people in the cockpit. You probably need a minimum of 2, an absolute minimum, and ideally 3 or 4, really, to sort of make it work properly, especially if you're acting in that sort of mission control function.
They've stated that they plan to have multi-crew, but they're only targeting currently 3 stations on board the aircraft. So pilot, co-pilot, and mission commander.
Well, definitely, I think in the mission commander roles, you're going to need, because of the task saturation and workflow, you're going to need those 3 people. And sadly, it's hard enough to find 2 people to crew the F-14
or the Apache
multiplayer or the Apache. So I wonder if that's going to be the thing that maybe holds it back a bit. That said, it depends on how good they make. Now, I'm not talking about the autopilot, the simulated autopilot, because I know they'll do a good version of that because they're talking about making this accurate. What I think this absolutely needs is a George or a Petrov or something that, you can go, I want you to fly this route, or I want you to do this hold pattern, whilst you can go off and operate the mission computer and all that. I think it absolutely is going to need something like that. If it doesn't have that,
they haven't mentioned anything about AI. Which would make me think they're not going to do that, because that's quite a big task, and this is a new developer.
Which kind of makes me, it sort of brings us back to the kind of, the mud hen, the Razban mud hen problem again, and it's like you kind of gonna need something to be able to take over the controls, even if it's a simple kind of attitude hold. You're gonna need it. You're gonna need it.
Oh yeah. I guess the thing in the case in the C-130 is that it does have a fairly decent autopilot, so you can turn on the autopilot and switch station. Maybe that will be enough.
That said, if you can fill that cockpit, if you can put the right people in, there's so many things you can do with this aircraft that we are lacking in DCS. The command and control in DCS, or the ability to effectively command and control in DCS, is very, very, very limited and lacking in multiplayer. The only way you can really do it is with
lot ATC
and SRS. And to an extent, it's somewhat abstracted. Yes, with Moose, you can bring in elements of, things like Mantis, where you have defined HQ units, and if you lose your HQ unit, you lose your ability, and all that kind of stuff. But this directly puts that command and control into the environment, and I think that's why it's really cool. Plus all the logistics stuff. I mean, they're talking about the airdrop symbology on the HUD.
Yes.
So now, the great thing about the aircraft that we have and the missions that we do, or not the great thing, but rather the thing, is that it's not always about denying airspace for the sake of denying it. You're denying the airspace for a reason, and that reason is either you're supporting troops on the ground, you're supporting the insertion of troops, or you're supporting the extraction of troops, or the insertion and extraction of logistics. And that bit is missing outside of scripting. So to be able to have that as being an integral part of the missions that we operate in, really, really cool. really cool.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that when they announced it. Like I say, like the C130, I saw the mod and went, oh, cool, yeah, fun. But the more I think about it, or rather, the more I thought about it, the more I realized just how cool this can be. So yeah, this is big, exciting news, and
Very much so.
And it's something new and something different, but is still relevant, and that's why I like this.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to this. I know that there are a bunch of people who don't fly the kind of whiz-bang jets and helicopters in DCS who are psyched about this. So this is going to bring in new players, people who perhaps would not otherwise play DCS. So that's going to be very, very cool.
Yeah, that's an important point. I think there's an opportunity of attracting some of the Microsoft Flight Sim crowd, but I think as well. The point you make there is that yeah, like multiplayer air-to-air combat is really high pressure.
Oh yeah,
not and it's also really high skill. Like I'm in awe. Like our VAF members that do it, and
shout out to Robot.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah, our own Top Gun. I mean, there's a reason why I fly the Harrier and the Apache is because, like, ultimate respect to people that can pull that BFM stuff off, and it's high energy, high stress stuff. Much credit to them, but I've had a long work week. I'm already stressed. Don't necessarily want to pile more of that stress on, but I still want to contribute. I still want to do something. I still want to do something with my buddies. Yeah. And something like this offers people who are in that situation a chance to, to contribute, to feel part of something, but not be going Mach 3 with your hair on fire,
If you ever see a picture of a fighter pilot, look at the neck. Check out the neck.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of work is going on.
Yeah. It's like Formula One drivers. They have to do neck exercises. It's crazy.
Yep. Just going to jump on to chat quickly because
let's see what chat's doing.
Backing up a little. Echo, does this mean we might get a clean slate A4 in the future, not the community mod? They've specifically stated that they will never charge for the community mod, and that they have no intention of creating a paid-for version. Keep in mind the A4 already has an EFM, which, so then there's less reason really to have a paid module for that. Sandbox Code, Boogie Dope makes great content. I'll be sure to check out that video.
Agreed. Yeah, he's really good. Definitely worth watching. Go along and see his channel.
Nice. Bill B, don't know if you've heard, but WAG's confirmed there will be 4 new third-party modules to be announced.
4?
What the hell is going on with DCS World? Wow. We've got all these new maps, we've got all these new modules. This is brilliant.
Do you know this is what we talked about at the end of last year, was that this is exactly what DCS needed to do. It needed to make I think we were talking about it in November, December, and one of the things we said was that ED needed to make the third-party developers do the heavy lifting, whilst they fixed the core of their game.
Maybe they're listening to us.
Maybe, but this is exactly what needs to happen. It's great.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Frantic Stone, is that not a mandatory airframe inspection after use of JATO? Yes, it is. Clint Esk asking about how many Moabs have been dropped because it's cool. I have no idea.
It's a few. I know it was used in the first Gulf War to clear the islands in the Gulf that the Iraqis had, because it was just they were too difficult to, they would have been too difficult to take by marine assault, so they just dropped Moabs on them and called it a day.
Fair enough. KG Lobster, if they get a good SP campaign, you could use it to do logistics and other things if ED ever gets it done. The developer has stated that they're looking at the possibility of a campaign. It's not confirmed as yet. Who else? Polytoximaniac. I'm wondering if their SDK provides turboprop modeling or if this had to be custom made. This is an EFM. It's a fully externalized flight model. It doesn't use anything to do with the sim with regards to the flight model. Who else?
people talking about the fuel rats in Elite, and
yes.
and that's an interesting. Yes. It's an interesting comparison, actually, because I remember reading an interview with a couple of the early founders of the fuel rats, and part of the reason why they started it was because they wanted a more chill thing, but that still had purpose. So there's a clear link here. Absolutely get that.
The fuel rats are brilliant.
And their level of role playing and awesome in Elite is really good. Hats off to those guys. They're good folks. Good folks.
Frantic Stone, he's listing the 4 that he thinks: Stratotanker, Tornado, Puma, Bulldog.
Bulldog. I'd love
DCS
it.
Bulldog.
I'd love it. DCS Bulldog. You know what? The Bulldog for Flight Sim is actually pretty good. It brings back many memories for me of climbing into
Falteraver, will ED fix the game though? Question mark.
Well,
Fault.
He's not wrong though. But again, this is going back. If this is true that there's 4 modules to be announced,
this is good news.
Good news, because like I say, it's the third parties that need to do the heavy lifting and generate income, whilst they go in, as Fault says, fix the game. Yeah. He's not wrong.
I'd like to see a few more SAM systems in the game, says Channel Right. Agreed. Although there is the, I forget exactly what it's called, but something like the high digit SAM mod, which adds all the modern things, S300, S400, etc. So that you can do it.
Comment just tuned in. Had a feeling they would make that C130J module the hype. Yes, indeed, and welcome.
The hype.
Welcome.
Svo Shark, I just want the new flare in the Viper. You've got it. It's in open beta. And actually in this newsletter today, they also announced that they're making refinements to it as well. Leo Netzel, what about the throttle quadrant? Can we just use twin engine quadrants? Yes, they've said that they've added 4 individual axes, but they've also added axes for just left and right, so you can control 2 engines at a time, and they've added a single throttle axis as well. So it doesn't matter what your hardware is, you're going to be able to fly this. Okay, let's see. I think we're basically up to date. Yeah. So let's jump back into the newsletter here, because the next thing is indeed the flare. Since the introduction of the new flare system, we continue to texture ground units and ships to match real-life flare signatures, to adjust aircraft flare signatures at different times of day and in varying thermal conditions. Flare rendering of terrain elements such as building, windows, and civilian traffic are also being improved. There are many more improvements taking place, and we will keep you updated. Meanwhile, we really look forward to your feedback. So, just to confirm, the new flare model is now used by all modules, has been for actually a couple of months. But they are continuing to improve it because it does have some problems. One of the most notable ones is if you spawn vehicles into a mission and you never move them, they just stay static the whole time, they are ambient temperature and so are just about invisible on flare because they just merge with the background, which is not realistic. So yeah, hopefully they sort that out at some point. So yeah, there's that. And then also there was an open beta update. We're pleased to inform you that the latest open beta patch will resolve the Viper avionics crash. Furthermore, Airgis has brought flight model and system improvements, as well as communication enhancements and texture updates to the 3D model for the DCS Mirage F1. Thank you again for your passion and support. And with that, we should perhaps cover those patch notes. Mostly small stuff. There's not a huge amount of stuff going on, but a lot in the Mirage F1, of course, and there is a big update to the F14, which we'll cover slightly separately later. But yeah, Hornet, they fixed that's the SLAM actually, AIM54E. Final phase manual correction is broken, has now been fixed. Fixed a crash in the avionics for the Viper. The Harrier cannot enter new waypoints, now fixed. Excellent. And in the Mirage F1, probably more stuff than we can really talk about here, but one of the big ones is the stability augmentation, which was broken in the previous patch, has now been fixed. And not only that, it has actually been tuned to more closely match the real world aircraft.
Quite a tempo of development from Airgis here as well. Like if you think, because last week's update was just as big, if I remember correctly.
Actually bigger, I think. It was bigger than this.
Yeah. So I mean, their tempo of development on this module is really impressive. You know, especially that it's only been out like what, 3-4 weeks? How long?
Yeah, basically a month. Yeah,
a month.
It's still very new. Yeah, I'm just wondering, is there anything? Lots of flight model stuff has been adjusted. The optical sight and the radar now consume electrical power. That's good.
Tasty electrons.
Tasty electrons. Yeah, nothing. Lots of improvements. Flight model, external model. And the main thing for me is that the dampeners have been fixed, because that was making the aircraft pretty hard to fly. My overview video that I filmed of the F1, where I was kind of demonstrating it, and I was having a hard time landing it, it turns out that wasn't entirely me. I was very, very unpracticed in the F1, but also the stability augmentation not working at all was biting me a little bit. Yep. I'm trying to figure out what Tog is saying here. Maybe the DCS news needs to be done in shorts now. Hearing me. Okay. The F-14. Now, this is a big one. I won't actually cover these notes here because we have a full article which Heatblur wrote in the forum, basically covering the extensive overhaul. They call it the AIM54 overhaul part 2 because it's the second time they've approached this. The original one was mostly about the modeling of the way the missile actually flies. They've now been taking a lot of look at the motor, burn times, impulses, and guidance. And they've done a lot of really cool work on that. And they posted in the forum, in the Eagle Dynamics forum, all about this. I can't cover all of this because it's absolutely gigantic.
It's huge, and it's quite deeply technical. I mean, so with the first time that they did this, they fixed a lot of issues because, like, out of the box, the AIM54 was sci-fi. So and that the first one kind of fixed it to an extent, but this seems to be really zeroing in to to making it a little less kind of the golden bullet that it was out of the box.
Is that overhaul also a sign for updating the API? I don't know, Swiss Panda. I don't know what that would mean. Sorry. But yeah, let me give you the summary of what this big, huge document says. Basically, the AIM54A model now is a little less intelligent than it used to be. It only updates its aim each time it sees the target illuminated. So if you're in track while scan, it's only doing like a course correction like once a second or once every couple of seconds. Whereas the AIM54C is way more capable and actually kind of guesstimates the position of the target, so it's a bit more intelligent. The A model can only go active based on a signal sent over the data link from the F-14, whereas the C model can go active on its own. And apparently this is realistic. So in the event that lock is broken or your aircraft has to turn around or whatever, or you get killed, the C model is actually still capable of going pitbull and tracking on its own, which is pretty advanced.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think there's a lot of stuff going on here that is just sort of bringing this missile into the realms of accuracy. Because, like I say, even the C model, it was my understanding is that it wasn't very accurate, and like certainly employing it against maneuvering aircraft wasn't very realistic. It was designed to shoot down bombers.
Yes,
that didn't really move much, from a long way away. But certainly, like the employment I saw on multiplayer servers with it was being used to shoot down maneuvering fighters, and it sort of really kind of hitting a lot of the time, which from sort of historical reports, I don't think is sort of pretty accurate. I know there certainly have been kills with it, and I think the majority of the kills with it are from Iran. Yeah, but they were aiming at large formations of non-maneuvering fighters that never saw it coming.
Well, there's that.
Yeah, so
Although on saying that, the Iranians did employ the Phoenix quite a lot in dogfights for a period of time, simply because they didn't have any other missiles. Even though it's not what it's designed to do, they did use it as a kind of fairly short range missile, and they got hits against maneuvering targets, but at very, very short ranges. So obviously, if you're firing it out at some of its longest ranges, which I don't even know what they are, but if you're firing it at a target like 60, 70, 80 nautical miles away, that target could turn 90 degrees and you're going to miss. It's not made for that.
So it's good that it's coming back into the realms of realism, and also it's really interesting to see the level of detail that Heatblurs have gone into in making this work. Although I'm curious, and I thought ED were bringing all missile and weapons in house.
They have, but I think the AIM54.
What's going on here?
I think the AIM54 is a notable exception because Heatblurs have put so much original research and work into this. So I don't know the exact arrangement. I don't know if they do all of this work and then hand it to ED to be implemented or what. But ED are in charge of all weapons, perhaps with the exception of the Phoenix.
Yeah, I suppose it's kind of like the F-14 signature weapons, so yeah, maybe that's why it's retained. But I like it. There was like a little kind of eyebrow raise.
Yes.
I thought that the ED were doing all this kind of stuff. So hey-ho. Hey-ho.
Hey-ho indeed. So yeah, very, very good article. If you have any interest in this, dig through it and have a little look yourself. One thing to note, on a general performance note, we very thoroughly tested these changes and have recreated all known test shots from 1972 and 1973 with the A model.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So they've basically taken all the data from the US Navy's actual test shots and they've been able to match them. So I think we're looking at some pretty good quality here.
Wow.
Very nice. Bill B, wonder who would handle the Meteor. Well, the Meteor is actually already in game in some of the community mods. I know that the Gripen and something else, I forget now, can fire it. But of course, I don't know what kind of public source you're going to be able to get for data on the Meteor. It's pretty high end. It's pretty new. I don't know. Although we'll probably get the Meteor with the Typhoon, of course, which is also being made by Heatblurs.
Well, will we? Will we?
Because not at first.
Yeah, but not for a long time, because I know they're doing so they're kind of almost mirroring the real development of the aircraft.
Actually, yes, I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Like they're going through the tranches pretty much the
way
way we did in the real world.
So I think Meteor is quite a ways off as part of an official mod. Yeah.
So
we'll see.
I realise now that I kind of skipped something. We never looked at the Hercules trailer.
Oh gosh, yes, because we went into Bogey Dope's video, but yes, let's actually put the trailer on.
Let's play the trailer because it looks rather nice.
Going back, yeah, I know.
Contrailing there. I really like this this HUD view as well. The HUD looks like it's nicely modelled. There's someone poking their head out of the side.
It's it's
a big boy.
Yeah.
Dump a lot of flares. Yeah.
It's so cool. What was I going to say? There was interesting footage there of it low level through the HUD.
Yes.
And if you've ever been down in Wales, down around LFA 7 in the Mac Loop, watching those guys go low level, it's impossible. Like, you're just like, how is something that big flying that low? And I remember as well, I was up at it was a good few years ago, and it was up at Loch Lomond, and 2 C-130s came through just above treetop height up there, and it was amazing to see. It's incredible. Like, not many people realize, like, those guys will get amongst the weeds if they have to.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There are even, I believe there are versions of the C-130 which even have terrain-following radar. However, not the versions that we're getting. It's a different model that has terrain-following radar. New flare effects.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. New flare effects indeed. Well, I was just saying terrain following radar. I know we're going off tangent again, but we
should. We like to do this.
This is what we do. Did you happen to catch the video of the terrain following radar in the Mudhen from Razbam?
When they did the test,
using
the M2000.
Yeah,
I did see that. It was pretty impressive.
Cool. Yes, yeah,
and actually, it reminded me a lot of good old Tornado.
Yeah. Well, it's the same kind of system,
Yeah,
they all work on a sort of similar principle, but it was just an interesting connection. But yeah, much hype for the C-130. Much hype.
Okay, very interesting from Zigzag here. The Lockheed A-12 was also to be outfitted with the Phoenix missile system. Oh my, can you imagine?
Am I right in thinking the Phoenix was originally Hughes?
Yes.
Was it? Yeah, thought it was.
That's correct.
Yeah. And didn't they make it for the Air Force and it was crap? And then the Navy bought it and turned it into the Phoenix.
That I don't know.
I seem to recollect there was a story about that. I could be getting this wrong.
You might be thinking of the Sidewinder.
No. It was a long-range radar, semi-active radar, and it was by Hughes, and it was rubbish. And then the Navy bought it.
Yeah, because there's a similar story with the Sidewinder.
Yeah,
I forget which
the
is
Sidewinder
which.
the Sidewinder was the same as well. But it's a particular connection with the Phoenix that is coming to mind. But yeah, I know that. No, it was the Navy didn't. No, I can't remember which. It was the Air Force, the Navy. It wasn't rubbish. It was just that one of them didn't see the point in it or something like that.
Yes.
That was it. It was like, oh, what's the point? And it's like.
DC in chat, four more third-party modules in the pipeline to be announced still according to Wags. Yep, that is correct. We mentioned that a little bit earlier. A lightly modified AIM54 for the AC-12. Sorry, for the A-12. Yeah, that would have been quite a thing. But I mean that as well. It was supposed to be a bomber too. Oh my!
Or one of the variants of the A-12 was supposed to be a bomber, but it was a kinetic. It was going to use a kinetic weapon, so it would just get up to Mach 3 in a bit and then drop a lump of steel.
Wow!
Because
70,000 feet at high speed.
From 70,000 feet at Mach 3, and you got 500 kilos of iron impacting it. I mean, do the maths on that. It's a lot of energy getting released.
That's going to be extremely unpleasant. For those on the ground, a significant emotional event.
Yeah. Wolfpack is asking, is this live stream?
No, it's all pre-recorded.
It's just fantasy, mate.
We're rapidly going back and editing the video based on the chat comments. It's all wizardry.
Nico saying Buccaneer would be fun. I agree. I would love to see a Buccaneer. It was that was a bonkers aircraft. If you're interested in the operation of the Buccaneer, I suggest, I forget the name of the author, but the book is called A Bucket Full of Sunshine. And it's about the operation of the Buccaneer in Germany in the Cold War. And the term bucket full of sunshine basically comes from your RAF typical very dry wit that they referred to the nuclear weapons under each wing as a bucket full of instant sunshine.
Oh dear. Channel right, the British did this during the Iraq War, apparently with concrete bombs. Correct. Yes, they did. It was an early concept for bunker busting, actually. You go fast, you drop a big lump of concrete, and you smash whatever it is it hits.
Yeah, and I know there was some experimentation with the B1 doing just a low-level pass, kind of like a show of force that, if it passed over near its max speed,
Those things are damn loud.
yeah, the displacement of air would do damage, like not a lot of damage, but it would like be enough to be a kind of like a, yeah, maybe we should leave.
Oh dear, yeah. Cool. Okay. So, I think we're up to date with chat. I wonder, is anyone interested in an OV10 Bronco?
Yes, me. Hello, hi.
Well,
Yeah.
the community modders at Split Air, they've got you. They've got you, fam.
Yeah.
Got
This
a trailer
is super
here.
Cool.
This is super
cool.
Actually, the soundtrack in this trailer is so good, but I can't play it.
Yeah. This, for all you A10 drivers here, this is your heritage.
Oh, yes. And California Fire Department.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just stunning. Quick note, this is a community mod. I believe it does have an EFM, and it's due to be released on the 9th. So you'll have it any day now.
Yeah.
Just look at this.
This is awesome. Yeah, I have such a soft spot for the Bronco. Such a soft spot. Again, just screaming, why don't we have a Vietnam map? Because this is exactly where it would shine. But it's a cool aircraft, and I mean it again, it's another one of these perpetual aircraft. It was in service. In fact, it's still. We just checked before we came on air. It is still in service with the Philippines.
Yes.
It is still in active service, and the interesting thing I found is that the US used it in combat operations against ISIS recently.
Yes.
They reactivated a couple as a test. Apparently, this is all to do with finding a replacement for the A10. Because the A10, they're wanting to put it out of service and they're looking to replace it. And one of the things they're looking to replace the A10 with is the Bronco.
Which seems a bit nonsense.
How bonkers is that? But when I did some digging into this, it's that, well, it's a specific environment that they're looking to replace the A10, and that is the low threat coin environment.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense. The A10 was designed for the height of the Cold War, going up against some serious firepower. Whereas when you're just looking to take out, a Hilux with a machine gun on the top of it, it's maybe a bit overkill. Whereas something like this, is kind of perfect.
It's a very interesting little aircraft because you've got the wing pylons, which can only carry sidewinders for self-defense. We just saw one being shot there. It has 4 pylons under the fuselage, which can carry rockets and bombs. And it has a gun package, which can either be 4 50 cals or a single 20mm cannon. So quite an impressive aircraft. Doesn't carry that much weaponry, and it doesn't have much of a range of weaponry, but it carries the basics, and it gets the job done.
Yeah, so it's just really interesting that this has come back out of testing. This is the aircraft that is like, what, 60 years old? More.
First flew in the 60s, so yeah,
first flew in the 60s, so we're getting on 60 years old, and this is going to be a replacement for the A10, or potentially a replacement for the A10. And at the same time, I think they also evaluated in these sort of live missions, they evaluated the T6 Texan 2 and the Tucano.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh, and there's a tease at the end of this one. No, I wonder, chat. Let me see here. We're not seeing very much here, but could chat tell me what that is? Because they're teasing another module that I guess they're working on. And it looks like an A4, but I'm not so sure. We already have an A4.
Where? I'm missing it.
Right in the middle of the screen here.
Oh, that's super dark.
Yeah, they've intentionally made it quite hard to see.
Wait a minute. Am I getting Jag vibes off of that?
don't think so.
That long canopy at the front, right? To me, that looks like a double bogey landing gear. And kind of like, I need to go look at that bottom right corner of
this has rounded intakes, and the Jaguar
I know
has
the Jaguar.
boxy
I know the Jaguar
intakes.
has boxy ones, but it's like, do the corners of them round over?
I'm not seeing it. I don't think this is a Jaguar. I would love it to be though. But yeah, chat. Oh, okay. A couple of people are saying it looks like the Alpha Jet.
Actually, yeah.
Frantic Stone, you do know that under copyright, if you're reviewing something, you can play the audio. You're right. However, YouTube will automatically strike me, and then I have to appeal it, which I can't be bothered doing.
I know fair dealings is a thing under copyright law. However, YouTube gives no shits for fair dealings, or in the US, fair use as it's known.
Because their whole system is automated, and no human being is involved at any stage. So it's not worth it.
Yeah.
SR71 Blackbird, says Frantic Stone. No.
Yeah.
It's not a Blackbird. But yeah, a few people saying it's an alpha. I'm not in a position to dispute that. It could be an alpha.
Yeah, I don't know. I still see a bit of Jag, like, because like even though the Jag's intakes are kind of like squared off, like the front comes in and it's got like a curve, and like the placement of that landing light as well, and
the intakes match the alpha much more. Yeah. I think chat could be onto something here. This does look a bit like an alpha to me.
The little T section at the top of the tail. Yeah. Okay. Yes. No, I retract. Yes. Yeah.
Very nice.
Alpha Jet's cool.
I was wrong, by the way, chat. I said this is releasing on the 9th. It is in fact releasing on the 7th. So just in a matter of days. You'll be able to get your grubby little hands.
Clearly, I just want it to be a Jag. That's what it is.
I would love it to be a Jag.
I know. Like, my mind is showing me a Jaguar because that's what I really, really, really want. But Alpha Jet, actually, now that everybody's saying it, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
And that's cool because the Alpha Jet is it's a pretty little plane. So.
So this is by let me remind myself here, actually, Split Air. So check out Split Air. They also did a Rafale mod. I'm not sure of the quality of that one, but it was a bit earlier. But this is looking super, super good. I'm definitely going to be flying this, and I will, of course, make a video on this on its release. In fact, if you're very, very lucky, I might even have a video on this by next Saturday. So there you go. Oh, okay. Frantic is private messaged me with an image.
Yeah. He's done the same for me, and he's right. And chat's 100% right. It's an Alpha Jet. Yeah.
Swiss Panda. A lot of multi-crew stuff coming if it's an alpha. Yes, indeed. So yeah, OV10. This looks like a bit of fun, and this is another really, really great AFAC aircraft. So if you're playing multiplayer, using SRS and so on, this could be a really neat addition.
I'd like to see how the flight model is. Like, as cool as all these aircraft are, if the flight model's not up to snuff, what's the point? So would definitely like to see how the flight model goes with this.
Given the configuration of this aircraft as well, I can imagine the handling characteristics will be unusual, because it's not a traditional layout.
Yeah, you've got twin props, widely spaced. You got a boom tail,
twin boom.
All of those all of those things. They lead to some peculiarities. In handling. Not peculiarities, but like a certain character.
Yeah. And the elevators are quite high mounted, so I can imagine that under certain maneuvers you're going to occlude them from the airflow. So you can probably get like a loss of elevator effectiveness in funny high angle of attack maneuvers.
You're going to get deep stall, which is sort of, with the 727 and things like that suffered from, some of the DC9, the sort of deep stall kind of configuration that you can't get out of. Yeah, lots of interesting things that could happen. So yeah, but I'd be keen to see how they're modeling that. And
one of the first things I always do with these EFM aircraft is I get myself up to altitude. I get it into slow flight configuration, so you're flying maybe only at 20, 30 knots above stalling speed, quite high nose, and then I just pull the stick and see what it does. Because in these slow flight configurations and when you're stalling at high altitude, that's when you're going to see how accurate the flight model is in many cases.
And yeah, really, any day now for it. So
yep, 4 days.
Wednesday this week. This week.
Yep, I'll be grabbing it. Very, very nice.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's yeah, that's two modules that's got me pretty psyched, actually. Like the C130 and the OV10, and like I mean they both seem out of left field, but they plug neat little gaps in the DCS kind of types of missions that we can do. So
I'm just laughing at Frantic Stone. Sorry, less than 2 weeks. He says
less than 2 weeks. TM.
A lot of people talking about the Vietnam map, and yeah, you're like ED have kind of sideways confirmed it. They've said that it will come. It just hasn't been announced yet by anyone.
Yeah. I think they've got work to do on the foliage issue, before Vietnam can be a thing, because the optimization that they had to do to get Marianas to work, and that was with tiny little postage stamps of foliage, whereas the Vietnam map is kind of all foliage.
I gotta say, Marianas is running pretty good at this point though. But yeah, they did have to work on it.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely yes, it's running good, but that's the only thing is because I've got a bit of a beast to sort of plow through the frames, but I noticed that it takes up more resource than any of the other maps.
Oh yeah. Good morning, Vietnam. Oh dear. Yeah, very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So I think that's oh no Clint S. No. No
Agent Orange will be employed. It's what daisy cutters are for.
We don't speak of Agent Orange. That was very bad.
Yeah. Like I say, it's what daisy cutters are for. It's just a big barrel full of explosives, beat it out the back of a Herc. Instant LZ.
Or Moab. Moab will do the job.
Yeah. Well, Moab I don't think was around during Vietnam. It was the daisy cutter. The Moab was kind of like an offshoot of that.
Yeah.
So other news, personal news. I pulled the trigger on the CM3 gimbal. Ooh. So it was available for order. So I have ordered one.
When does it arrive? Do you know?
I don't know. It's on back order. So. It'll be a while.
I suspect that quite a lot of people have purchased it.
Well, if I remember correctly, 2 weeks was the back order time.
2 weeks
in previous previous times, but I don't know what it's like now. So we'll wait and see. But I've ordered it, so I'm quite hyped because my poor original Mongoose gimbal is definitely showing signs of needing
abuse.
Some. I think it might be serviceable. I think if I took the extension off, I think it was the extension that ultimately years of using it with an extension is kind of what's killed it, because I think whilst it was designed with an extension in mind, I think they need to refine that design a little bit. So, I mean, maybe I might get a desk mount for it and sort of turn it.
It was version 1 hardware after all.
Yeah.
I got mine at about the same time, and mine is still going.
But looking at the design, the new design, they seem to, I think, definitely have solved that issue with the cams, and that the cams are now directly pushing on the levers rather than sort of being kind of, the thrust being a bit off axis. Kind of hard to explain unless you open it up and show you. But like, it's the cams are much more integrated. Like, I think that seems to have fixed the issue. But it's a pricey bit of hardware, definitely.
Oh yeah,
definitely they've increased the price. It was a bit of a kind of oof, ow, that stung.
it's really like it's totally worth it though. In my opinion, the Virpil stuff is so well made. It's so robust. Like, I've still got all my original kit. I'm sure I'll break it one day, but it's made tough, which is good.
Yeah. Couldn't asking ability to just clutches without disassembling my whole setup. Yeah.
That's
it's
correct.
Looking like that's it. You just stick a ball end Allen key in the top and turn, and you adjust your clutches, and away you go. Although, like, the thing is when you adjust the clutches, like, you really kind of need to change the spring as well. Like, if you want, for example, if you're wanting to, I mean, I don't know how strong those clutches are. Like, if you want to have a fully dead stick, like if you're flying helicopters or something, like, you'd probably want to go onto a light spring.
Well, actually, they were recommending removing the spring entirely if you're going to do a helicopter setup.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought would be the case. Yeah.
You yank the springs and then you just adjust the dampeners to give you that nice kind of center point wherever you leave it kind of idea.
Yeah. Tax write-off as it's for business. Yeah, I'd like to see my accountant accept that justification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frantic Stone really wants an FFB. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And somebody in our Discord was saying that apparently the patent on force feedback is up.
Yes.
It is now out there, so it is there for the grabbing. Microsoft no longer own the patent, so I think somebody really does need to produce a high-end, high-quality force feedback stick.
Hi, Virpil.
Yeah, hi, Virpil. You want to do that? You probably should.
I would buy one.
Just don't play enough to be bothered with the conversation with the wife. Yeah, the wife acceptance factor.
Yes, indeed. Well, that's your accountant, Frantic Stone.
Yeah.
Oh dear, fantastic. Is it perhaps time, dotChuckles, for us to pimp the VAF?
I don't know how the VAF feels about being pimped. Like, I think it would quite like to be a strong, independent squadron that don't need no man to pimp it.
Well, we unfortunately do need man and woman who are interested in flying for the VAF. Always we want more recruits. Yes, the Virtual Air Force, the VAF, an online squadron that was originally founded by myself and dotChuckles here. It's an opt-in milsim experience. You've got the option of joining our squadron as a freelancer and flying whatever airframe you want, whenever you want. Or, alternatively, you can opt in for that full milsim experience with training. We run squadrons, internal squadrons, for the A-10, the F-14, the F-16, the F-18, the Harrier, and the Apache. So please, we're always looking for more pilots for all of those. You'll see a Discord link in the show notes below. Please join our Discord. Everybody is welcome, whether you fly with us or not. We do training sessions every Tuesday at, now let me remember, 8 PM UK time. And every Thursday, we do a mission, also at 8 PM UK time. And there we go. Storm Kimbari just posted in the chat a direct link to the Discord. It's a lot of fun. Everybody's welcome. Please come there. You can even just hang out and chat with fantastic people like myself and dotChuckles.
Yeah.
So please do.
Absolutely.
And then I guess I should pimp myself as well. So yeah, he's been dotChuckles. I've been Deepak. I've recently activated YouTube memberships on my channel. I have a short video on the channel explaining why I've done that and the reasoning behind it. Short version is, You don't have to. You shouldn't feel like you have to. But if you feel like supporting the channel a little bit, I have YouTube memberships. It's called Deep Hack's Ground Crew. It's a very, very small monthly fee. It's around about $2 or £2 per month for those of you out there in the big bad world. If you feel like supporting me and helping me create more interesting DCS and simulation content, then it'd be fantastic. Otherwise, everybody please subscribe, like, and comment. That's a really big help to me and to the channel. Frantic Stone, join Discord, speak to us through support. Sure we can muster something.
Yep.
Oh, Leo Netzel, the Thursday mission was fun at the VAF. Swiss Panda, do you guys also clan squads join ops? Yes, we do. If you're a member of another virtual squadron, even if it's an inferior one, then please get in touch, and we would love to do joint ops with you. That's a lot of fun. What else we got?
Do I get cuddles with ground crew? I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Only you. Only you. Yes. Sandbox Code. I just joined Discord, but I live in the US. That's
fine.
That's fine, and it's going to be more fine as time goes on. We do have some plans for how we're going to support those of you in the US time zones. But as of right now, everything is in European time zones.
Yeah. Although we have a lot of folks who are in your time zone and are active and doing things. So we have quite an active sort of ad hoc come fly with me channel on the Discord, and there's always folks all around the clock like pinging in there going, hey, I'm off to do stuff, come join me.
Yes.
So yeah, absolutely.
All are welcome. All are welcome.
But yeah, there'll be more in a while. Once people get a bit more settled, there will be kind of US time zone orientated things on a more official capacity.
Yes, indeed. That is the eventual plan. So, I think that's basically the DCS news for this week. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. He's been dotChuckles. I've been Deepak. I usually post a tutorial video every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. UK time. I keep going my local time zone. But sadly, this week was a no-go, and that's then followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching now. Thank you very much for joining us. Be safe, everybody. Ta-ta.